President Duyken has announced a new vice president for student life. Learn more about who Duyken appointed to the position.
Hillel's Winterfest will take place on campus tomorrow. We've got all the details on what you can expect and things to know before you go.
50 years ago, Gerald Ford was president. The Beatles broke up, John Glenn was Ohio's senator, and a local treasurer received a national title.
Hear how one Kent student is spending her weekend serving up delicious fresh donuts to the community. All these stories and more as KSTV starts right now.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Portage County. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Liv Sharp.
And I'm Hayden Cruz.
We start tonight with breaking news about Kent State's head football coach, Kenny Burns.
An Ohio bank is suing Burns for unpaid credit card debt totaling $23,852.09 plus interest.
In a statement made to CBS Sports, Burns said, quote, "My wife and I are aware of a legal matter involving debt related to paying off a recent remodel and move. We are working swiftly to address this matter," end quote. The Cuyahoga Valley National Park is celebrating their 50th anniversary.
That's right, Liv, and here to tell us more is our own Nikki Gajeski. Nikki, good evening.
Good evening, Liv and Hayden. Yes, I previously reported on the Cuyahoga Valley National Park being an economic asset to the state. Now I have more good news on the park. As mentioned, they're celebrating its 50th birthday. I attended an event last night and spoke to community members on the milestone.
Small business? Well, that's just an average day in the life of Zoe Knoll, a Kent State junior and the owner of Zonuts and Lattes.
So I got the idea in November of 2023. I went to my parents. I thought, hey, what about like a fresh donut and coffee food truck? I'm like, you don't see many breakfast food trucks around. And my dad, without a doubt, said, let's do it. And here we are, months later, and everyone loves the donuts.
The idea for a donut food trailer was born on Thanksgiving just last year.
We were all sitting around the table, and the next day her and her dad went and looked at a food truck. It didn't work out, but within a couple weeks they had a food truck.
Since then, Zoe and her family have spent their weekends all around Portage County serving up fresh donuts and signature lattes.
We love our little community, Portage County. Ravenna has really supported her since they don't have a donut shop anymore. Everyone has kind of really, opened their arms to Zoe.
Zoe regularly updates her menu, bringing seasonal donuts and coffees to her customers, big and small.
I would say my mind is always on what donut next? What can we do to better our donuts? What flavor out there do people love?
And she does all this while being a full-time student at Kent State.
I took a very important entrepreneurship class, and that's just really showed me and made me get out of my comfort zone. And I think it's really shown for what I've done here.
What's next for Zonuts and Lattes?
Well, we just ordered our second trailer. It's much bigger than what we have now. We're gonna do some cream sticks, some ice cream. Our menu will expand a whole bunch, and we'll just hope to keep expanding.
But for now, you can find where Zoe and Co. are setting up shop on her Facebook and Instagram. It was a really great opportunity to get to talk to Zoe and eat some of her delicious donuts. I tell you guys, I'm a big pumpkin spice latte enthusiast. She has made quite possibly the best pumpkin spice latte of all time. So make sure to stay tuned to where she is, and we know great things are coming to Zoe. Now I'll toss it back to Nikki on the 4 wall.
Thanks, Liv. I previously reported on the Cuyahoga Valley National Park being an economic asset to the state. Now I have more news on the park. They're celebrating its 50th birthday. I attended an event last night and spoke to community members on the milestone.
It's hard to believe 50 years went by so quick. I remember when it wasn't a park.
50 years Castle is referring to is the 50 years of the Cuyahoga Valley National Park being designated as a national landmark.
And the depth of the public support which transformed a dream into a vision, and on December 27, 1974, that vision became a reality when President Gerald Ford signed the Parks and Neighborhood legislation into law.
To honor this vision, the CVMP held the event Remembering 1974, Our Origin Story. It was a walk down memory lane for the park and visitors.
We've been enjoying the valley, well back into the 60s, even when it was just Virginia Kendall sledding in the winter.
Annually, the park brings over 2 million local and national visitors, highlighting the importance of the local national park.
Came out because we can learn something, and I think it's important to know what it takes to make things happen, especially conservation type things and protecting natural lands, and it'd be interesting to hear how that's all happened here in Northeast Ohio.
As appropriately titled, this event allowed panelists to discuss the origin story of the parks to attendees, who in turn got to embrace the 50-year story in the making, dating back to 1974.
Pancake breakfast at Stanford House was a family favorite for years. Just the Thanksgiving Day hikes, we come down before we make our Thanksgiving Day dinner.
With 50 years down, there's hope for these traditions of the castles and others to continue.
We're very lucky to have it in our backyard, very lucky.
As mentioned, the official anniversary of the parks being first named National Recreation Center is December 22nd. Fun fact, it was named a national park in October 2000. Reporting for KSTV News, I'm Nikki Jajeski.
All right, thank you, Nikki and Liv. Those are some great packages. We got to see a lot of cool stuff there. Well, earlier today, an email was sent out to the university announcing Dr. Ebony Pringle will take over as Senior Vice President for Student Life. Starting December 1st, Dr. Pringle will take over the position from interim to full-time. In the email, it states the title change recognizes her leadership strengths and accomplishments since assuming the position on an interim basis in August of 2023. Dr. Pringle previously served as Dean of University College for over a decade. We send our congratulations her way.
Very exciting. Well, advising with the university might have gotten just a little bit easier. An email was sent out this week announcing a new way to navigate advising appointments.
That's right, Liv. So I downloaded the app because that's a new way to show them. So we're going to see how it works and maybe show you now. So let's take a look. Now, the app itself is Navigate 360 Student. Okay. So when you open it and you sign in, you'll look up Kent State, you'll find it there. It shows first you can schedule appointments, you can track to-do, so you can set up a to-do list, and then you can find resources and join study buddies. This actually seems pretty interesting.
Sounds really important. Now, I know we're both seniors, so we're done with our advising appointments. Exactly. But for underclassmen, this is a really great asset because a lot of you might not know this, but we have to have an advising appointment before we can schedule our classes. Exactly. And it's very important to get those scheduled, and so I think this is an absolutely great addition. But Hayden, I don't know about you, but it's been really chilly and rainy and gross today.
It has. I mean, I like the rain, but at the same time,
well, I don't. I didn't love it, but you know, for more weather news, we tune to our weather anchor, Eli Fetterspiel.
Your first forecast on Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Portage County. Let's dive right into our Wednesday night weather. First, we are going to start with our hourly forecast of this Wednesday night. 6 p.m. we are at 40 degrees and an 81% chance of precipitation. You definitely must have noticed if you walked outside today, but it has been raining all day long. Now let's see, as we go into midnight, it will be only at 37 degrees and 8% chance of precipitation. So we'll be jumping down. We'll have a peaceful night with not a lot of rain. But in the morning tomorrow, you are seeing that right. There is a 40% chance of precipitation. It's going to look like some snow. With a high of only 33 at 8 a.m. when we start our days, it is definitely going to be chilly. Diving more into tomorrow, it is a high of only 35, a low of 31, so we will be in those low to mid 30s throughout the entire day. It's going to be cloudy with snow showers mostly in the morning and then again at night. And the wind is going to be picking up to 18 miles per hour heading west. So definitely be wearing those winter coats, be breaking them out of your closets. Might even be time for some scarves and hats. Next, we're going to dive into our northeast regions of what it is looking like right now. So we are going to start with Kent right here, 38 degrees, Cleveland at 42 degrees, Ashtabula as warm as it gets right now, 45 degrees, Sandusky at 41, Mansfield down below at 37, Worcester also at 41, Akron-Canton area at 39, and over to my left right here we have Youngstown at only 43.
Make sure to stick around for more from me, covering our current statewide weather for this evening, as well as our upcoming forecast for this week. Back to you, Liv and Hayden.
Thank you, Eli. FAB is partnering with Flash's Fighting Hunger and Intercultural Student Life to present all around the world trivia tonight in the Rathskeller from 7 to 9 p.m. The prizes are travel and international themed, and FAB is also collecting canned food donations. The event is to celebrate International Education Week and Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week.
Tomorrow, the bookstore will host a book signing to celebrate the release of Native Americans of the Cuyahoga Valley. Editors of the book, Peg Boble and Professor Linda Whitman, will be signing the new release. They will be in the bookstore from noon until 2 p.m.
LaunchNet Kent State is hosting an end-of-semester small business showcase tomorrow from 4 to 6 p.m. in the DI Hub. It will be a tabling event with alumni and student entrepreneurs. Registration is required to have a table or simply attend. Food and drinks will be provided.
Gather and Give Back Volunteer Night will take place on campus tomorrow. You can join the Women's Center and Care Center from 4:30 to 6 p.m. at the Williamson House. You'll learn about housing and food insecurity and participate in a donation basket activity. If you're interested, you can scan the QR code you see on the screen.
Hilal's annual Winterfest is tomorrow from 5:30 to 7 to celebrate the end of the 2024 semester. There will be giveaways, food, and upon entry, everyone will receive a ticket to enter into a raffle basket of their choosing. The event is sponsored by Kent State and USG, and everyone is invited.
Target is anticipating a weak holiday shopping season in their stores. Will they be able to come back from the dip in sales, or will this be the end to the store chain?
President-elect Donald Trump is continuing to round out his cabinet picks. We have the latest selections ahead.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine. And I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and Mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns, like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, you know, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero.
Good job, Kitty Cat.
When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
How can you hate Star Wars?
Kung Fu Panda.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Here for a late night walk.
Yes.
Night walks around campus.
Oh I always, you know, like the swing.
Student center.
What?
Wait, care? You mean like healthcare?
Cares Center.
Student center.
Where you can get support.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all. If I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Your community.
Your stories.
2 Solon men were charged after fighting during a city council meeting over anti-Semitic comments. David Fleiss was charged with aggravated menacing and disorderly conduct, and Adam Waldbaum was also charged with disorderly conduct. Video captured inside the council meeting shows Fleiss begin to leave after making an anti-Semitic comment. You then see Waldbaum swing his clipboard at Fleiss. According to police, the altercation continued outside when Fleiss's vehicle came within inches of hitting Waldbaum.
Yesterday was the second hearing for House Bill 285, which would mandate minimum nurse-to-patient ratios in hospitals and create a loan-to-grant program to recruit more nurses. This was introduced in the wake of a nationwide nursing shortage since the pandemic, where over 100,000 nurses left the profession. If the bill does not get passed by the end of the year, it must be proposed again in the new year.
Target is expecting a surprisingly weak holiday shopping season. The company predicts sales during the final quarter of the year will be flat. There's no doubt that the holiday shopping season is crucial for retailers. Now, Target can survive a weak holiday season, but many smaller companies depend on strong sales during the holidays. Target is struggling in part because its core middle-class customer base has been strained by high prices overall.
The funeral of former One Direction star Liam Payne was held today in England with his close family and friends attending. Payne died on October 16th after falling from a hotel balcony in Buenos Aires, and 3 people are facing charges in connection to his death. Payne allegedly had alcohol, an antidepressant, and cocaine in his system at his time of death.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm. This is your KSTV weather.
Let's get back to our Kent State and Portage County weather forecast for this Wednesday evening. We'll also take a look at our surrounding areas, including weather statewide. Starting with our statewide weather with our major cities, this Akron-Canton area, we are at 39 degrees right now as we are slowly reaching 6:30. We have Toledo at 43, Columbus at a similar 42, and Athens going a little lower at 41. But Cincinnati is having a bit of a higher temperatures at 44 degrees, and Pittsburgh at 46 degrees. Might not seem like much, but with the weather that we're having right now, that's the best you are going to get. We're going to take a look at our extended forecast for this week. Now, starting tomorrow, I did already warn you we are going to be seeing some snow. High of only 35 and low of 31. Friday, it is going to be rainy with a 98% chance of precipitation, high of 45, low of 40. Going into the weekend, we're going to have a high of 44 and a low of 35 for Saturday, and a 53% chance of precipitation. We'll be jumping down on Sunday, and it's just going to be looking like a cloudy, kind of bland day, but hopefully no rain with a high of 45, low of 39. Going into the start of next week, we have a high of 51, low of 34 on Monday, but 63% chance of precipitation. That's carrying over into Tuesday, also looking rainy with a 24% chance of precipitation and a high of 39, low of 27. And lastly, a week from today, a little bit of sun that we'll be getting. It's going to be 11% chance of precipitation and a high of only 36. Check back tomorrow evening for more weather-related content. For the last time, I am your Wednesday weather anchor, Eli Fetterspiel. Thank you for everything, and I'll see you around Portage County.
Thank you, Eli. You've been a great weather anchor. President-elect Donald Trump has announced 2 new cabinet picks. Matt Whitaker will be his U.S. ambassador to NATO, and Linda McMahon will run the Education Department. Whitaker served as acting attorney general for part of Trump's first term. He is a former U.S. attorney in Iowa, and McMahon is a former WWE executive and ran the Small Business Administration during Trump's first term. She has no teaching experience. However, she was appointed to the Connecticut State Board of Education in 2009, which she served for just over a year.
We turn to international news with updates from the war in Ukraine. The Biden administration has agreed to provide Ukraine with anti-personnel mines and granted them permission to fire long-range American missiles at Russia. The U.S. Embassy in Kiev is also closed for the first time since February 2022 after it received information for a potential air attack.
The United States vetoed a United Nations Security Council resolution today, stating they felt the resolution did not make the ceasefire contingent on the release of the hostages held in Gaza. The resolution does call for the release of all hostages, but the wording suggests that their release would come after a ceasefire is implemented. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu offered $5 million in safe passage out of Gaza to anyone returning a hostage, saying, quote, "Choose. The choice is yours, but the result will be the same. We will bring them all back," end quote.
The undefeated Cleveland Cavaliers head to Boston for a tough test against the Celtics. Highlights on this Eastern Conference matchup on your KSTV Sports Report.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brush your teeth. Good job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
This is your Kent Stater TV Sports Report.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dom O'Brien, and tonight we have some recaps and previews in Kent State athletics, plus some updates coming from Cleveland today. As we'll start with the football team. Akron proved victorious last night against the Kent State football team to keep the wagon wheel with a final score of 38-17. Kent State jumped out to an early lead 91 seconds in, but Akron responded with 23 straight points in the first half, and they never let go of the lead. Kent State finishes up their season against Buffalo next Tuesday, November 26th. Now we'll go over to the Golden Flashes women's basketball team as they return to the Mack Center tonight for their match against Duquesne Dukes at 7 p.m. Kent State comes off a close loss against Elon with a set on Saturday with a final score of 66-63. This is their first of 2 home games played this week before they head to Puerto Rico to play Brown University. Now we'll go up to Cleveland as some news over there today as the Cavaliers and Rockage Mortgage Fieldhouse have their sights set on bringing a WNBA expansion team to the city. Cleveland previously had a WNBA team from 1997 to 2003 named the Rockers, and now the city looks to get a franchise back due to recent sporting events taking place in northern Ohio. And staying with the Cavaliers, we're going to head over to the undefeated Cavs as they played the Boston Celtics. 15-0 versus 11-3, as we'll get to that in a moment, but we can't wait for that basketball game going on for Kent State. But the Cavs, they did play the Celtics last night, and it was a good game. They had a lot of ups and downs. There was a big lead that jumped out to the Celtics in that game, but at the end of the day, they could not get the victory. The Cavaliers could not, as that knocks off their 15-game winning streak. The Celtics knock it off and keep going on their trend from the Eastern Conference Finals earlier last season. So what a game for them, a good win for the Celtics. But the Cavs are going to jump back in there and get back moving and try to get a new win streak possibly as they fall to 15-1. They lost that game 120-117. That's all we have for sports today. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to check out Kent State versus Duquesne on ESPN+. I'm Dom O'Brien. Now let's head it over to Hayden.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
How's your hair? Is it pretty?
Daddy.
It's pretty.
Maybe I'll
All right, now we're back to me. Well, the Cambridge Dictionary named manifest as its word of the year for 2024. The verb means to use methods such as visualization and affirmation to help you imagine achieving something you want, in the belief that doing so will make it more likely to happen. The word has been looked up nearly 130,000 times on the Cambridge Dictionary website, becoming one of its most viewed entries. The dictionary says this year marked manifesting's move into the wider public consciousness. It sounded funny coming out of my mouth.
It did. Now, you may have heard earlier, our very own weather anchor Eli Fetterspiel said that this is going to be their last weather block for us, and that's because you're moving on to brighter and greener pastures. So would you like to say a few words?
I would love to. And this is honestly a hard goodbye, since I feel like my KSTV journey is coming to a close before it's even begun. My 2 semesters with you guys have really changed my college experience, and to be honest, it might be one of the coolest things I've ever done. When it comes to being in my 20s, after graduation, I'll be working at Kent's Crisis Hotline Center, and we'll be making a return to Kent, hopefully for higher education, to become a clinical mental health counselor. KSTV and all the people I've grown to know here have helped my confidence and my overall happiness as a student, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you grow yourselves from afar. And I'm really gonna miss you guys.
I miss you. And I mean, Eli, you are one of my closest friends outside of KSTV, so it's a very, very hard goodbye. But we are all so very proud of you and the work that you've done here, and we wish you nothing but the best and so much success, and we cannot wait to see the journey that you go on, because we know it's going to be an incredible one.
We're happy you were able to spend the last semester with us, absolutely.
Even if it was a short time, it was still a wonderful time, and I hope you had some fun here too.
Oh, we had a blast. We did.
Had a great time.
You had some memorable weather blocks.
100%. Well, that is all the time we have left for tonight. Thank you for joining us, and be sure to tune in on December 4th for an hour-long show as we celebrate the last Wednesday newscast of the semester.
For the latest updates on stories that impact our community, go to the Kent Wired website and follow us on social media. I'm Hayden Cruz.
I'm Nikki Gajeski.
I'm Dom O'Brien.
I'm Eli Fetterspiel.
And I'm Liv Sharp.
Have a great night, Portage County.
Can you concern with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. Living seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall. One book can make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the finest of thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.